Despite a complete overhaul last year, the 2012 Chrysler 300 received several significant changes and enhancements. An 8-speed automatic transmission is now available with the V6 engine, which can also now be paired with all-wheel drive. There are also 3 new returning models for 2012, the uniquely styled 300S, the high-luxury 300 Luxury Series and the high-performance SRT8. The big rear-wheel drive V8-powered sedan is as American as any number of overused clichés, yet even if the 2012 Chrysler 300 is built in Canada and based on a platform that has evolved from an old Mercedes E-Class, it is nonetheless the epitome of a classic American sedan reinvented for the modern age. It's the modern age bit that's most important. Thanks to a complete overhaul last year, the 300 boasts sleeker styling, a quieter interior and a more comfortable ride than it did in years past. Interior craftsmanship is second to none in its class, and the 300's myriad electronic features are not only advanced, but also easy to use. The Chrysler 300 Base Limited and 300S V6 models come standard with a 3.6-liter V6 that produces 292 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. The base model comes standard with a 5-speed automatic transmission, but the same 8-speed automatic found on the other V6 models is optional. Rear-wheel drive is standard. All-wheel drive is optional on the Limited and 300S. A base 300 went from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.1 seconds. EPA estimated fuel economy is 18 miles per gallon city or 27 miles per gallon highway and 21 miles per gallon combined with either the 5-speed automatic or all-wheel drive. The 300C and 300S V8 get a 5.7-liter V8 good for 363 horsepower and 394 pound-feet of torque. 5-speed automatic and rear-wheel drive are standard, but all-wheel drive is optional. The SRT8 gets a 6.4-liter V8 good for 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Rear-wheel drive and a 5-speed automatic with paddle shifters are standard. After last year's overhaul, the Chrysler 300 now has a cabin that might make luxury car shoppers think twice about paying extra for a fancy badge. The look is hardly what we'd describe as groundbreaking, but it's classy even in its most basic form, and the 300S in particular adds some visual flair with its available 2-tone color schemes. Materials are top-notch, particularly on the new 300C Luxury Series with its leather trim covering most interior surfaces. Given the 300's proportions, it shouldn't come as a surprise that there's ample room for occupants big and small. The adjustability of the driver's seat and tilt and telescoping steering wheel is particularly impressive. The large 8.4-inch touchscreen control interface is a vast improvement on the substantially smaller screen found in many other Chrysler Group vehicles. In fact, it's one of the better touchscreen systems around, with large buttons and a logical menu structure. Luggage capacity is average for a large sedan, with 16.3 cubic feet of space. Rearward visibility is the only notable drawback for the 300 here, as the thick rear pillars can make it hard to spot other cars in the rear three-quarter view. Although our 300C's 5-speed automatic is equipped with a manumatic function, it doesn't have steering wheel-mounted paddle shifters. The point was well illustrated when one driver unfamiliar with Chrysler's wheel-mounted audio controls, they are located on the back of the rim, stood on the gas, tapped what he thought was an upshift button, and squeezed off one of the most deftly executed radio station changes in motoring history. The car remained in first gear. Look for paddle shifters to be available when the 8-speed auto arrives for the V8 on 2013 models. Despite the pair of unscheduled dealership visits, our 300C's cost of ownership has been reasonable and its downtime kept to a minimum.